Hello my loves and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and today we are doing episode 8 of Shop My Shelves and I'm so freaking excited, not only because this is my favourite series to do, but also because it's the first vlog of 2026. So good, such a good combination. So grab yourselves a beverage, this is going to be a long video. I figured as this is the first Shop My Shelves episode of 2026 that we would do a spinner wheel of my whole physical TBR. Okay, it's a little bit less, okay? My physical TBR is currently at 130 books and I have 80 books on this spinner wheel. That's just because I haven't bothered putting on like the third book in a series if I still need to read the second book. Admittedly do that where I purchase multiple books in a series that I've not actually read up to yet. It is a problem, but what if I love it? Then I can just binge read it. I never do that, but I could. So we've got 80 books on this spinner wheel. I actually need to shuffle it up because I did it in alphabetical order to make my life easier, to make sure I actually had all of the books that I can read right this second on the spinner wheel. Let's shuffle it up. Oh, I think we'll shuffle it up 3 times. 3 is a good number. So we've done 1, 2, 3. Okay, genuinely I am a little bit terrified because there are some books on here that I just don't feel like reading and I always say this, but I guess we're just gonna get straight into this. Stop being scared. We need to find out what the first read is going to be. I am truly excited, scared, terrified, all of the emotions. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting that, but I'm not mad about it either. So The Nesting, this is by C.G. Cook, and this is a book that I have been putting off for years. I think I could like this book, but I do associate this book with winter. So it's actually really good that this one has come up, because if I don't read it now, then this would be waiting until winter 2026 because I am the problem. The synopsis says, deep in the forest of Norway, Lexi finds a fresh start with Tom and his 2 daughters working as their new nanny. But Lexi is telling lies and she's not the only one. This family has a history and this place has a past. Something was destroyed to build this house and in the dark, dark woods, a menacing presence lurks. You know what? Yeah, this was a great pick by the spinner wheel, so fingers crossed. I really enjoy this one. I would like to do at least, I'm gonna say 3 to 4 spins on the wheel. We'll see what happens. Sometimes it goes incredibly well, and like what happened last time, we had 3 DNFs. So I guess we're gonna find out. But yeah, let me know, have you read The Nesting? And how did your New Year's go? I hope you all had a great start to the year. But okay, let's get straight into this. Between the video like image quality and the sound, it's because I am messing around with my partner's camera. I really want to start using it more because it's just so much better than my camera. Plus in the last vlog Hermione pushed my camera out of her cat tree and I think that messed up the audio a little bit because then when I was editing on a few of the clips it wasn't as clear as it normally is. So I've decided I'm going to transition into this one. Should I have done the intro with this? Yes, but I didn't realize till I was editing yesterday and that was after I had filmed the intro. Can't really refilm it because it's a spinner wheel, so we're just making do. Hopefully you like it. Let me know if you notice the difference and what you prefer. That's also really helpful. But getting on to the reading news, also don't ask me what this little bit of hair is doing. I don't know. I've got a little horn today. The book, The Nesting. So I am up to page 87, I'm in the middle of chapter 7 and I'm going to DNF, unfortunately. I actually think this is very much a me problem. It is nothing wrong with the book. I think the writing itself is decent. This is like a slow pace, eerie, unsettling tale. We're following Lexi, and Lexi is someone that is really struggling. She has lots of different things going on and her mental health just isn't doing well. When we first meet her in the book, she's going through a lot, and she gets this moment that she thinks is so serendipitous, we have that word used a lot, that she overhears someone applying to be a nanny in Norway, and our character Lexi is trying to write a book set in Norway, and she's like, oh my god, this is perfect. So steals the application, pretends to be this other person to land this job being a nanny for 2 children in Norway for like 7 months. Absolutely mind-boggling. But she does it, she goes. The problem that I'm having is that we've then got just chapters upon chapters of just what it is to be a nanny for these 2 children, and I'm sorry, but I'm just not interested. I genuinely don't mind a creepy story, being a nanny and stuff. One of the ones that I really like is Victorian Psycho, but there isn't as much emphasis on the focus of being a nanny, on the day-to-day of taking care of children, because I'm just not interested. It's not something I have any interest in at all. I don't want kids. I've just got no interest in it. I do struggle with books where the focus is on looking after children, especially when it's slow to do anything else. Like, we're almost 90 pages in and nothing's really happened. The most that has happened, we've been told that we can't go down into the basement, and one of the children does a creepy drawing and says it's the sad lady that's in the basement. Like, that's it. So I know this is going to be a slow-paced book. We do get the narrative broken up with the children's mother, or Aurelia, and we start off the story in a prologue with Aurelia running away, and then we get moments of like when she's recently given birth and she's kind of having these really bad dreams. And so I feel like those moments will be interesting, but they're few and far between. We've only had the prologue and 1 chapter in this 90 pages, and I was like, I could keep going, because like I say, there is nothing wrong with the writing. I could keep going, but at most this is going to be like a 2-star read for me, because I just can't connect to it. It's just not a story for me, and that's absolutely fine. I need something. If we're going to be following a perspective where we're looking after children, I need something to happen. So like, for example, a good example is when the wolf comes home. We have a child that's been a prominent figure in this story. We have our main character who's trying to look after this child, but there's always something going on. It is not just the day-to-day of messy play and all of this other stuff where I'm just like, I'm sorry, but this is just boring me. And so I do what I normally do if I'm contemplating DNF in a book, but it's not because of the writing in any way. I will flick forward to see, are there points of interest that I can push through, because sometimes it is. Sometimes it's a case of just sticking with the book, and once you get past it, it's going to get really interesting. Unfortunately, I'm just not seeing that with this book, and yeah, it's just not holding my interest. And I was like, I could keep pushing through and have a low star rating, or we can just DNF, which is what I'm doing. Like, I've been doing it all of 2025. It's going to continue into 2026. If a book is going to be getting less than 3 stars and there's nothing of interest for me, I'm DNFing the book. Like, I've got enough books, as we already mentioned in this video, to be getting on with, to spend time on a book that I know once I finish it, I'm going to be unhauling it anyway. So yeah, it's a shame, because this is meant to be quite like a folklore horror story, and I can see the elements of that where it's going to slowly come together. It's just a little bit too slow for me. And again, I could deal with a slower story if the focus wasn't so much on the day-to-day of looking after these kids, which this is just a me thing. If you enjoy that sort of thing, great, I'm really happy for you. It's just, unfortunately, just doesn't work for me. So we are going to be spinning again a little bit sooner than what I thought, but let's do it. Honestly, I say it every single time, but I can never be mad if I have a DNF, because that means I'm clearing through my shelves and I'm going to be having books that I absolutely love on them, which is the point. But okay, let's see what we're going to get. Oh, oh my god, I'm so excited. Yes. Oh my god. Okay, I am so happy with this. Let me get the book. Completely different genre, but it's like, I am so excited for A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. This is one that I picked up thrifted, and look at how good condition it is. It was just sat in the free library at work, where I tend to put a lot of my books that I'm unhauling. If my sister doesn't want them, that tends to be where they go. And I saw this one, I think, literally a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to try Romantasy. It was literally the day of me filming the Romantasy Bingo TBR. I I'll have it linked below. The day I filmed that, I then went to work and I saw this and I was like, well, this is just perfect timing. And I haven't heard many people talking about it except Rainy. I think Rainy was recently reading this one and she said that she really liked it. And this also works for a prompt on the Romantasy Bingo board because this character, I think she's got a health condition, so that works for the representation square on the bingo board. I am doing this off the top of my head. It's probably called something different on the bingo board. But yeah, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm genuinely so excited. See, this is the thing, right? At the minute, if you watched my Relax and Readathon vlog the other week, again, I'll have it linked below. I was saying in that video how my reading is a little bit all over the place, that I'm really in the mood for romantasy and manga, and now we get a romantasy. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so this one, we are following Vasily, who was once a dancer in King Ilion's court until he framed her for murder. 2 long years in shackles leaves her broken and hopeless until suddenly she's called to face her king. He offers her a deal: pose as a dancer at the royal gathering, spy on his enemies, and he'll grant her her freedom. It sounds really good. The thing that actually sold me on this book was the fact that I read the first line, really enjoyed it. Look at this map. Isn't that stunning? Okay, love the map. But yeah, I read the first couple lines and I really enjoyed it. I'm sorry, this, for anyone that watches my videos, like all of them, you've probably heard this sentence a couple times because when I first hauled the book, I was saying the exact same things, but I'm just so excited. Voices speak to me in the endless dark. Sometimes it's my own voice, an incessant humming. Then it warps, fragments, becomes 10, 20, a choir. People I used to know calling my name. Vasily, Vasily, they sing to me. They recount my failings. They tell me all is hopeless, that I am lost to this prison. I love it. I love it. I think I can swiftly become enamored by this book. This is perfect. This is perfect. Okay, this is what we're going to be reading. I am so freaking happy with it. Completely different change of pace. Do let me know if you've read A Dance of Lies. I know a few people in Discord, when I first got it, I sent them a picture and I'm like, has anyone read this? I've never heard of it. And a few people were saying like Fairy Loot did a special edition, so they've seen it around, but they haven't heard anyone talking about it. And now I get to read it and I'm so excited. Okay, right. I need to chill. I'm gonna start this book. I will check back in what I think about it, but I'm so excited. Still playing around with this camera and honestly the angle is so wide. I am not used to this at all, but I have got up to chapter 11 page 110 and I'm really liking this book. So obviously all the bit that we get on the synopsis, the bit that I told you about Vasily being in prison, being brought out of the prison, told that, you know, if you be a spy for me, etc., I'll get you out of prison. All of that happens within the first few chapters. And what we're told, so King Ilion is the one that put her in the prison, knowing that she did not do this crime, that it was not possible for her to do this crime, but he left her to go to prison anyway. He then tells her, you have 5 weeks, 6 weeks to get yourself in shape, to then try and get yourself admitted into being part of this dancing troupe, I'm gonna call it, because basically once a year we have all of the kingdoms, their rulers come together and it all takes place in East Meridian. I think it's East Meridian. So King Ilion, let me start again. So King Ilion has 2 brothers. Now King Ilion was set to inherit the whole of Meridian for himself. However, his late father decided, actually, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to split kingdom into 3 and each of you can have your own bit. King Ilion really wanted East Meridian, which his brother inherited instead, his youngest brother. So he is so annoyed about this. He is so salty, but he's decided that this year, when this ceremony happens, that he's going to have Vasily come in as a spy, say that she's actually part of King Anton's court as a dancer from East Meridian, to spy and then report back to him on all these different things. Now Vasily is admittedly completely out of the politics of it all, understandable. She's been in prison for 2 years and before that she was kept very closeted because King Ilion refused to really share her with others, and by share I mean allow her to dance with others unless he had a very small gathering. He never touched her in any way, but he was jealous and he coveted her. Put her in a position of privilege because she was able to stay within the palace. She had jewels and things, you know, it was very good until of course it all got ripped away. Now Vasily is terrified. One, she doesn't want to go back to prison. She'll do anything not to go back there, but her body has been ravaged by these years spent in prison. And she's somehow got to try and get herself together enough to do a show good enough to get her accepted into the dance troupe for this ceremony, which is going to be extremely hard. It would be extremely hard normally because she's not actually professionally trained in any way. And I love this book because it doesn't just do it as, oh, she started eating healthily and exercising for a few weeks and suddenly she was fine. No, it genuinely sticks with the trauma of what she's been through. Her body is ravaged. Her muscles are trophied because they wouldn't let her walk around. She's got nerve problems as a result of all of this. She is in constant pain. She has a problem with her heart as well. Like, there are all these problems and the doctor's like, you know what, you're never going to fully recover. The pain is going to stay with you. Like, there's really not much we can do. And I love that we actually see that, because I think it is very common in fantasy books for characters to go through these really traumatic experiences and to then not spend the time with them as they deal with the mental and physical after effects of it all. So I'm really appreciating that. I'm also enjoying seeing the world, seeing Vasily start to connect to some people, the struggle that she has, because she very much does not want to go back into prison, understandably so, but she's also dealing with the fact that she's having to lie to everyone, she's having to stab people in the back, she is constantly thinking to herself, where is my limit? Where do I stop? What point do I just say enough is enough? Like, I am really curious to see how far Vasily will actually go, especially where we just left it. The demands are getting higher and more dangerous each time. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm also looking forward to seeing the romance blossom. I actually don't know fully who it is. It might be on the synopsis. Hang on. So it says, the rivalry between the brothers escalates and Vasily is caught in the middle. If she is to survive, she must decide who to trust, who to fight for, and how much of her soul she is willing to damn in the process. We're just starting to see all of that slowly start to build, because we spent quite a bit of time just getting Vasily into where she needs to be and then seeing all of the struggles that she's got because of this. Also her conflicting feelings around King Ilian, because she really admired him. Is admired the right word? She felt very grateful because she was given this position of privilege, and now she's so confused because she has no idea what happened to cause him to just discard her in this way. And you know, she's very conflicted in all of her feelings, so that's quite interesting. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this is going to go, how far Vasily is going to be pushed, and then potentially that romance to be budding. Like, I am looking forward to it. Also, I want to mention the fact that the dancing in this is so well explained. I love it. I think the way Brittany Arena has been able to describe the dancing to the point where it's so beautiful on page, like, I love it. I think it is really, really beautiful, and it does take a talent to be able to put into words something that you would see. It's like the same with art, being able to describe art in a way that can make you visualize it and see all of its beauty is quite difficult, in my opinion. And I think Brittany's done this really, really well, so I'm really enjoying that aspect of this. Yeah, I think it's just really good. It's a really easy book to read, and I can't wait to read more. So I am going to do exactly that. I've got a bit of filming and stuff I want to do today, but yeah, I am going to get into it. And I think probably just before I finish this book, we'll do another spin to see what my next book is going to be. So far, I would give this like maybe a 3.75, maybe 4 stars. I think it would depend. Currently, I think it could definitely get higher. I feel like it could definitely get as high as like maybe a 4.25 maybe. Regardless, I'm enjoying this one. So honestly, this is like a good little hidden gem, or at least an unexpected find. Like, it's just been good. Anyway, right, I've got loads of filming to do. Hopefully this camera angle was okay. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of playing around with it, but hopefully it's all okay. I was meant to come in and update before I finished out this book. Yeah, that hasn't happened. I have enjoyed this so much. It has been so good. I've given this one 4.25 stars. I just kind of binged it yesterday and finished the book because I was enjoying it so much. And I honestly don't know where to start with all the things that I enjoyed. I feel like we go with the part that I resonated with the most, and that is Vasily's journey because of her body and the realization that she's not going to be able to do all the things that she used to do. So because she was a dancer and a very good dancer, she was so strong and in control of her body, to then know know that she no longer has that is such a difficult process for her to deal with. And this book does not gloss over it. It is consistent throughout the whole book, the frustration that she deals with. But I love the growth that she goes through, because you have that frustration, the anger, the resentment at first because her body cannot do the things that she wants because she was wrongly imprisoned, the rage because of all of that, to then the resignation of this is how her body is, and feeling like she's broken as a result, that she's almost lesser as a result, and how she's jealous of other people that have full movement and how she took that for granted, and all of these things, like all of these emotions that she's going through, to finally starting to accept it, starting to accept her new limitations, starting to adapt because of them, admitting that as well. That's a really big thing. There is a moment in here when she actually admits that, when she gets asked why she does things in a particular way, and she actually admits and says, it's because I can no longer do the things that I used to be able to do with my body, and so I'm compensating. And she feels so proud of admitting that, and honestly it's so realistic. Like, that was so well done, to then finally have her towards the ending of the book realizing that she is not broken. She might be different, she might have scars and things, but she's not broken. And I loved that. I thought it was so well done, and I really appreciated how this book didn't do what a lot of fantasy books tend to do and just kind of be like, oh yeah, they went through this, but then don't really talk about it. This is throughout the whole book. It shapes Vasily's experience as it should do, and I really appreciated that. So I thought that was brilliantly done. I then really enjoyed, honestly, the plot line, even though it was a bit of a mess. I say a bit of a mess, like there was just a lot of it was convoluted at times, and there was a lot of conveniences at times, but I loved it. I thought it was so fun and entertaining. There was always something happening that was just keeping the plot moving, so I really enjoyed all of that. And just, yeah, it was just a really fun read. I would actually say if you like Throne of Glass, to give this book a try. Not the whole series, the first book in particular. If we have Selena Sodothian, but instead of an assassin as a dancer, then kind of what you're getting, except Vasily is older. She's a bit more likable than what Selena is, I'm not gonna lie. And also, we do have characters that remind me of Kale and Dorian, and I really enjoyed it. The plotline is different, don't get me wrong. I could see influences. Whether there is influences or not, I don't know. I should have read the acknowledgements actually, because sometimes authors do put in where they got their inspirations from, so that would have been interesting. I probably should have done that. But also things like the castle. So in Throne of Glass, there is a glass castle. In East Meridian, their main thing that they're proud of is their sea glass and the things they're able to do with it. So I just feel like there are little connections here and there that do take us back to Throne of Glass, which I can't complain about. I do like Throne of Glass. It's a book I've reread many times. Yeah, this was just so much fun. I really enjoyed it. As much as I say I can see similarities, this book stands on its own. I do think it stands on its own. I think it is really well crafted. I'm really looking forward to reading the second book. But that's not published yet. That's not out until, I think it was August next year when I was looking for it. So yeah, very much can't wait to read that. I thought it was really good. Really intrigued to see where it all goes. There was so many politics and plots and things going on in this, and I just had a great time. Parts of it were really predictable, but I didn't guess everything that was going on. I feel like how it all ended, you could have seen coming. There was enough things looking back on the book that were dropped throughout the plot line that would definitely work, but I just didn't piece it together, and so I really liked it. I just thought, yeah, I just really enjoyed this whole book. Okay, it was good, it was fun, 4.25 stars, great. So I'm so happy with that. So now it is time to spin again. I don't really, hang on, it started spinning and I haven't even pressed record. Oh my god. Okay, let me see what it comes up with this time. Okay, well, it came up with mirror cracked side to side. We're not going to count that though, because I didn't press record. So let me try this again. What I was saying is I don't actually know what I want to read. I mean, Romantasy I've been having a lot of fun with. I would also quite like to read a manga or a light novel. Oh, okay. Well, that is not what I would have chosen. Actually, at all. But it is probably a good thing because it is a book I've been putting off for ages. Let me go grab it. This is such a random mix of books, I'm not gonna lie. So we started off with a horror, folktale horror, then we had a romantasy, and now we're going to a literary fiction. Freshwater for Flowers by Valerie Perrin. This is a French book. It has been translated by, it's not on the cover, hang on. So translated by Hildegard Soul. And yeah, I mean, I've heard amazing things about this book. I've heard so many people genuinely genuinely love this one. It is, I think it's more like slice of life though. We're following Violet, who is a caretaker at the cemetery in a small town. Her daily life lived to the rhythms of the hilarious and touching confidences of random visitors and her colleagues. Her routine is disrupted one day by the arrival of Police Chief Julian Saul, wishing to deposit his mother's ashes on the grave of a complete stranger. The story of a clandestine love breaks through Violet carefully constructed defenses to reveal her own tragic loss. The moving story of a woman who believes obstinately in happiness. Freshwater for Flowers brings out the exceptional and the poetic in the ordinary. It does sound absolutely lovely. So yeah, just this book is honestly a book that I've been meaning to read for a while because I do tend to really like French books. I just didn't expect it to come, like, it's one of those ones where, again, Shop My Shelves is doing the work for me, like with The Nesting. It is a book that I think I'm going to like, but it is a book that I've just not gravitated towards. I've just not picked it up. And so Shop My Shelves is actually getting me to read it. Whereas A Dance of Lies is probably one that I was going to end up picking up at some point within the next 6 months anyway, because of Cassidy's Romantasy board. I should have said, actually, yes, this does work for Rep Matters, so I have filled a little space on that bingo board. Very happy with that. But yeah, so I would have got to that one soon. We're actually going for the next book as a book that, yeah, I don't know, I think I'm going to like it, but I just haven't felt any compulsion to read it. So yeah, I guess we're going to be starting off with this one. This is so random. I love this mix. This is why I love Shop My Shelves, because you just don't know what you're going to get. I think between this, or if I had actually pressed record and we got Mirror Cracked Side to Side, honestly both, because Mirror Cracked Side to Side is a Agatha Christie book that I have been meaning to read for ages because I'm on my Miss Marple journey. I just barely did that in 2025. But honestly, I feel like this is a good change of pace, I feel like. So yeah, okay, well, this is the next book that we're reading. I will check in when I've started it and what my initial thoughts are. I would love to know if you've read, I think a few of you have actually read this one and told me how much you love it. Fingers crossed, I also love this one. Day, and unfortunately I am DNFing Freshwater for Flowers. Honestly, I feel really bad about it because so many people do love this book, but it just isn't for me. So there's nothing wrong with the writing style, a bit like The Nesting, like genuinely the writing style is absolutely fine. It's quite easy to read, the chapters are really short. It's just unfortunately not a book for me. And what I have realized in the last couple months, I have actually read, this will be my 4th version of like a literary / historical fiction book that I have attempted to read, and I've started to realize what I need in those sort of books for me to really enjoy them, or at least to finish them, because this doesn't have any of those elements and I just do not feel inclined to finish this book. This is a book that I feel very ambivalent towards. I could just put it down and not come back to it and not worry about it, hence why I'm going to DNF. I would probably, if I finished this book, give it like a 2.5. I think it definitely deserves that because of the writing style, but I can't give it higher than that because I am not invested in this book, like at all. And so what I have realised with having read a few different historical and literary fictions, it was actually for an exclusive video for Patreon, which is coming up for them, I think the week after this one, if I can get it all finished in time. That I was reading 3 books that I'd pulled from my Patreon TBR jar, and they just all happen to be either historical fiction or literary fiction. And so with this, it is my 4th one in the last couple months, and I have found that unless those sort of books have very specific things in them, I tend to not enjoy them. So I do enjoy a historical or literary book if it has a gothic element, a mystery element, a weird element, or even just a little sprinkling of magical realism. I can then get on with it. I feel like I then have a point of interest that will help me finish out the book. Whether I give it higher than a 3-star, that remains to be seen, obviously depending on the writing style, on the actual plot line, and all the extra things that goes into a book. But I need something along those veins, otherwise I just find that I am not that interested. There are rare exceptions to this, don't get me wrong, there are, but I have to then be able to connect to the characters. If the plot line doesn't have something with like the gothic element or like a weird element, you know, like I do love a good weird book. If it doesn't have those elements though, then I need to be able to connect to something, which is then the characters. And if I can't connect to the characters, then I'm just fighting a losing battle for me, because I am just forcing myself through a book that I'm not really liking, and I do not see the point in doing that. As much as this is lovely, and this is actually similar to one of the other books, honestly, look, the sun is like, anyway, but as much as it happened with one of the other books that I was reading, like as much as I want to read it because so many other people love it, it doesn't mean that it's going to be for me. And for this one, unfortunately, it was very much feeling that way for me. I was only really reading this book because so many people had recommended it to me, and it was one that I was considering unhauling. I have recently gone through all of my shelves again, and this was one that I was like, I don't know, I feel like I should unhaul you, I'm not that sure. And in the end I decided, no, I want to at least give it a try, because it's been recommended to me so many times that I was like, I need to at least give this one a try. And yeah, unfortunately this just isn't for me, because there is nothing really extra to the plot line, and I'm not connected to our main character. But I should say what the book is about. So we're following our main character, and we listen to her story as she became a caretaker for the cemetery. We find out about her husband, how he just didn't really do anything, and it questions a lot about how do you know if someone still loves you, things like this, and how she would just be doing everything for him all the time. It really wasn't a good life. Like, he is staying because she does everything for him, not because of anything else. And so, you know, that's kind of like sad. We're also going to be dealing with a lot of grief because she's interacting with different people that are coming to a cemetery. We also see the different people that she works with, so the people that are the grave diggers and things like this. So she interacts with them, they come into her house most days for a cup of tea and things, and for a nice little chat. So you're seeing all of these little interactions and things, and I can understand why people enjoy that, because it is very slice of life. We're talking about a lot of nuanced topics, and the writing is pretty good. It's just not for me. I'm just not connecting to it. So yeah, I'm gonna DNF, unfortunately. It's kind of like the nesting, where I can be like, I can understand why people like this book, it just doesn't work for me. So it's the exact same boat that I was in for that. I think I'm gonna have to lower the blind a bit, because this is so distracting. That's a bit better. Obviously the lighting's probably changed a lot, but hopefully it's okay. It's a shame. I really wanted to adore this book, but unfortunately it just doesn't work for me. Onwards and upwards, as they say. So I'm going to be spinning again. 2 DNFs. Honestly, I mean, I say it in every Shop My Shelves episode. I probably don't need to keep saying it anymore, but it's fine. Like, I have a lot of books on my shelves that are from quite a few years ago. And so slowly getting through those books, whether I'm DNFing them or I'm finishing them and absolutely loving them, I'm happy with both outcomes, because all I really want is for my shelves to reflect me as a reader, for them to be filled with books that I have absolutely adored and books that I want to try. And the books that I want to try, if they don't work for me and I end up unhauling them, that's absolutely fine, because it gives me more space for other things, and it just helps me fine tune what I am enjoying as a reader. So I've got a few different projects on the go in the background behind this one. So I've got a couple books I'm also reading, and I have gone back to my roots, the Romantasy roots, and I'm just having such a fun time with it. It's short form content. I think by the time this video goes out, there would have been one of the videos that I'm doing that's gone live for the Romantasy stuff. I'm hoping to post it to here and Instagram. I'm just having such good fun with it. So it's really interesting to see how I have tried in the last couple of years branching outside of all of that, trying a variety of different genres, and just how, as much as I really wanted to be the sort of person that really likes literary and historical and classics and stuff, I am just too fussy with them all. And even with classics, like, I do have some that I adore, but generally speaking, again, it's got to have that gothic element, a mystery element, or something like that for me to really connect attract to them. Like, my favourite classics are the Gothic classics. So it's been a really interesting journey to at least try, but at least I know I have given this sort of genre like a good try. Across the years, I've really given it a good try, and I just find that they just aren't for me. Okay, right, well, with that ramble aside, I think we should be spinning again. We've got 77 books left on this spinner wheel, and I still don't know what I want it to land on, so I guess we're just gonna spin and let fate decide. But I love this because but I'm also like scared. What do I want to read? I don't know. Oh, that's so good. Okay, that's brilliant. That is a really short book, so I'm also going to do one more spin right now because that one is super short and I think I'm going to love it, but I also think I could definitely get that one done in like one day. So let's spin one more time. Oh, that was a really good... Oh, I've been trying to read that book for absolutely ages, so I'm very happy with that. And okay, the next one... Oh, yes! Okay, let me grab the books. Oh god, spinner wheel did me good. Okay, let me grab them. I recently reshuffled my shelves and I was like, oh, I know exactly where that is. It's not there. Give me a second. 2 short books, 2 that I'm very happy about, that I've been wanting to read, well, since I got them. So we're gonna start off with Guillotine. This one's by Delilah S. Dawson. I picked this one up because of how much I really enjoyed Bloom, and I have been meaning to read this since I picked it up, which was a couple months ago. So I'm very excited to read this one. It is a little horror novella, and I believe it's like Eat the Rich type book. We're following thrift fashionista Des Lane doesn't want to date Patrick Ruskin. She just wants to meet his mother, the editor-in-chief of Nuevo magazine. When he invites her to his family's big Easter reunion at the ancestral home, she's certain she can put up with his arrogance and fend off his advances long enough to ask Marie Caulfield Ruskin for an internship someone with her pedigree could never nab with the regular submission route. Okay, I don't want to read more than that because it's a little thing, but yes, very much like an Eat the Rich type book. This is also working for our fantasy because there is a prompt on there that is to do with fashion, and this is the book that I have had penciled in for that for ages, so I'm really pleased with that. And it's also going to work for the horror bingo that was put together by Sarah at Wicked Reading for a novella, so really excited about that, kicking 2 things off bingo boards, which is definitely needed. Oh, I'm so excited. I think I'm going to start off with this one. Very excited about that one. I think I'm going to read that one today. I'm going to take it to work. We're going to pray it's a quiet day and I can just binge that book. And then the next one, oh, so excited about it. So I am very much in 2026 going to be reading more manga and manhwa. It is something that I do very much enjoy, and I wasn't really reading on my channel because I was like, oh, you know, it's such a niche thing. Not many people are going to... I don't care. Okay, I was overthinking it. I am, for those of you that don't know, hi, I'm Kirsten. I'm a chronic overthinker. 2026, we're going to kick that in the butt and we're just going to do all the things I really want to do. Part of that is reading manga and manhwa, and I'm so excited to be doing that. And a book that was recommended to me, I put into Discord that I was going on this journey, that I wanted different recommendations, and someone did recommend Omniscience Reader Viewpoint, and so I picked up volume 1. I'm honestly not too sure what this one is about, but I'm excited by it and we're just going to give it a try. It says on the back, as a struggling office worker, Dr. Kim's sole joy in life is an online novel so obscure that he's its only reader. Then one day the story comes to an end and so does the world. People all around the globe suddenly find themselves being massacred by horrific monsters or pitted against each other in sadistic scenarios straight out of the novel. However, only Dr. is aware that this is merely the first chapter of what is to come. I'm really intrigued. That does sound pretty good. So excited. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna binge read this, then come in and tell you, and hopefully this is gonna be a 5-star read. I'm really hoping this is a 5-star read. I would love that. That would be amazing. But today is the 30th of December, so having a 5-star read to finish out the year would be amazing. However, because I've already done all of like my top books of the year and things like this, if I think it should be in the top books of the year, I will carry it over into 2026. I did everything with like a week to 2 weeks leeway at the end of December, so I knew if there was anything in that I was reading in that that period of time, that I would just bring it over into 2026, because the same thing's going to happen at the end of 2026. I will give myself like a week or 2 week leeway because I want all the videos to go up and stuff. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so I think we're going to read this. Hope it is the 5-star read that I am really wanting. I think it's going to be great. And then I will finish off the video with this one. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm so tempted I could spin again, because technically I have until the fall to do this video. And this is not going to take me long. If I'm in a real big reading mood, I could honestly finish both of these in one day. Do we just spin one more time and see if I can finish out whatever that book is? I feel like we're on good vibes at the minute. It's been a really good spinner wheel time, so maybe we should. If it's a short enough book, we're going to try and get it in. If it's not that short, I'll see. If I feel like I can squeeze it in, I will. If not, then we won't. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, it's just chaos here, but I'm so happy with that. That is so good. But again, I am running this till the 4th. It's only the 30th, so I definitely feel like I've got time to squeeze in one more book. Let's spin. Will the good vibes continue? Because, oh, that was so good. Like, when I say I'm ecstatic with how that went, I am so happy with how that went. Let's see. Okay, well, the spinner wheel is just giving me all the short books, because the Ice Palace, it is a classic book and it's very short. Let me go grab it. This is very short. I mean, again, this is another book that it would only take me like a day, if that, to read, because it's 125 pages long. This is a translated book. It is translated by Elizabeth Rockin. So it's The Ice Palace by Tage Vesses. I am butchering that pronunciation. I am so sorry. A Norwegian author. And this is just meant to be gorgeous. I do think, again, this is the perfect timing, a little bit like The Nesting. If I'm not reading it in winter, then this will just wait. So it's got to be read in like January or February, like it was with The Nesting. And if it wasn't getting read in that time period, then I'd be waiting till like November. Even then, February is a bit of a push for me, because I actually like to start reading. It's so cliche, isn't it, to go February romance, but I genuinely do like it. So I don't tend to read much of like my winter books in February. So it's actually January. If this one didn't come up now, I probably wasn't going to pick it up again until November time, unless of course it came up on a spinner wheel. But it's so short. Should we spin again? Or we're really pushing the luck, aren't we? But I feel like I could like this one. It's a frozen waterfall in the Norwegian fjords, transformed into a fantastic structure of translucent walls, sparkling towers, and secret chambers. It fascinates 2 young girls who strike up an intense friendship. But when one of the girls decides to explore the Ice Palace alone and doesn't return, the other girl, Sis, must try to cope with the loss of her friend without succumbing to a frozen world of her own making. It sounds really good, really magical, so I really want to give this one a try. This is not going to take me long. This I can read today, this I can read tomorrow, this can be squeezed in at any point, and then I've still got a few days. Do we spin again? Should I be doing all of this now? No. But I'm going to spin again, because honestly, I bet you if I spin tomorrow, it's going to give me like an 800-page book. Whereas today, apparently it's really loving me. The spinner wheel's really liking me. So I think we've just got to run with all the good vibes, and we are going to be spinning again. I don't know when, but eventually I'm going to stop, but it's not right now. Let's see. If it's another short one, I think at that point, maybe I should just stop and try and get through all of them. But let's see. Okay, we're stopping here. The skeleton key. This is actually a really good example of what I was talking about with Freshwater for Flowers. Hang on. Okay, I pushed the luck too far, because this is very chunky. This is also a book that I thought about unhauling, and it was actually during an unhaul video. I then was reading the back of it and I'm like, actually this sounds pretty good. I want to give it a try. Going to do all of these 3 first because they came up. I will read them in order of the spinner wheel. I'm expecting 5 stars, at least a 4-star, and hopefully another 4-star with this one. That is my prediction for those. And then I think we're going to finish up the video with starting this book. I feel like it has potential, so I would like to start this. This might not be one that I finish in the video. It might be one that I just kind of dip in and out of in the background, and eventually you're going to see it in a wrap-up video. Or you never know, I could absolutely adore it and try and binge read it. Maybe I could try and extend the video for like an extra day or 2 if I've only got 100 pages left. We'll see. Okay, I'm trying to like over plan, but regardless, regardless, I really want to try this one to see, do I want to read and finish it, or do I want to unhaul it? Now, judging from the synopsis, I think I could really like it, but it has been one that's been on the chopping block. It says, 50 years ago, Frank Churcher wrote the book that would make his family's fortune and ruin their lives. The Golden Bones was written as a fairy tale and a treasure map, but it quickly turned into a dangerous obsession for a cult of readers desperate to find the final piece of the puzzle. The Churchers were torn apart by the fame it brought them, and after a terrifying attack, Frank's daughter Nell became a recluse. With the family reunited to mark the anniversary of publication, Frank has one last surprise in store. It's finally time to reveal the location of the missing treasure. But some secrets are meant to stay buried. And that's what I mean, like, I think I could really like this one. I am intrigued. We've got a family tree, we've got a map. So I don't know, I feel like this book has a lot of possible elements for me to enjoy it. So I do want to give it a try. So that is what we're gonna do. Well, we have a plan. Honestly, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting to do 4 spins on the spinner wheel. We have our selection of books. This is what we're gonna be reading for the rest of this video. You'll be seeing me probably tomorrow, fingers crossed. 5-star read. I'm gonna be so upset if it's not 5 stars, I'm not gonna lie. It makes me scared whenever that happens, because it's like you've set such high expectations. What if it doesn't reach it, you know? But I think this selection of books is gonna be great. We're gonna try this one and we're gonna see, am I going to keep reading it? Is it gonna be an unhaul? Guess we're gonna find out. Honestly, I'm really hoping I like it because it has all the elements, but I will talk about all of this again. So what a crazy time. I was not expecting that for this update. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's probably been a really long update, but honestly, I'm so happy with this selection of books. I think it is absolute perfection. Oh, this is so good. Fingers crossed, all of these are going to be wins, which would be so good. Although, to be fair, it does throw out my end of year stats that I filmed, because this could be done all within December. Although, to be fair, I'm filming my wrap up tomorrow. Probably the only one you're gonna see in the wrap up is this one. And then I could just add these into January stats, which would be cheat. I don't know, okay? The end of year stuff, I always think it's a bit of a wiggly line for me when it comes to what do I add into stats and stuff for the year, because technically I've already done my stats. And as much as I did give myself a 1 book leeway because I knew I was doing shop my shelves, this, unless I don't finish the other book that I'm in the middle of, then that would actually work for these 2. I don't know. Anyway, I've got, you don't care about all of that. That's just weird stuff I need to like work on and sort out for myself. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I need some food. This has been amazing. I am so happy with how this spin went. And I guess you're gonna be seeing, well, me every single day while I get through all of these books, because I think they're gonna be amazing. I think it's gonna be such a good time. Like I predicted. However, this was not the 5-star that I was hoping for. Oh, I feel so disappointed in a way. Like, I was thinking about it, and Bloom was 5 stars because I adored the writing style. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful, and it made sense because the character that we're following is an English student. Like, I think she's doing her PhD. She also tutors people. That makes sense. We're inside her head. We're seeing all the beautiful lyrical descriptions that she does. And then obviously all the horror elements and stuff of that book. It was like a slow build one, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I did think it was a bit too slow at first, but I do think it was worth the payoff. This one is written very differently, but it works really well for the character and the plot line, so I can't really knock it for that. I mean, we're following Des. She is like, I will do anything to do her dream, which is to design clothes for the elite of society. Actors, actresses, singers, things like this. Like, she is desperate to be able to do that. So she's using this guy, Patrick, to get close to his mum to try and get her foot in the doorway, because, you know, she's from nowhere, she's got no name behind her, things like this. So she's doing whatever she can to make that dream happen. And this book really does show, like, how far would you go for that? And also showing, like, the top 1% of society, how there's just, they're a law unto themselves, like they have different playing fields, and I enjoyed that. This was fine, and I find books like this really difficult to talk about because there's nothing like the books that I DNF'd where I can explain to you why I didn't like it, that there are certain things about the book that just don't work for me. Like, it's nothing like that. It is just fine. But there's also nothing that I can go, oh, I absolutely loved it. So I kind of struggle talking about these ones. But this was an okay read. This felt to me like I was watching a horror movie. And I think if you like horror movies, then maybe you'll find this book quite entertaining. I think the horror elements, the things that were happening, it sounds really morbid, but I was like fascinated. I wanted to see what was going to happen, the reasons why they were happening, uncovering all of the secrets. I enjoyed that. But when I finished this book, I was like, okay, well, that was a time. And that was it. Like, I don't think I would reread this one. It's not going to stay with me. It's like a film for me, and it's very rare for a film to stay with me, for me to want to constantly rewatch it, things like this. Generally speaking, that's normally because of nostalgia, like Lord of the Rings, things like that. It was like watching a film. And I think, you know, if that's what you want, go for it. This is a decent book for it. If I was to do a recommendations video on books that made me feel like I was watching a film, this would be in there. It's just, I wouldn't reread it. Not one that I'm going to be thinking about. It's not one that's going to stay with me. And so I'm kind of stuck on my rating because I feel like it should just be a 3-star because I found it absolutely fine. But I do appreciate how it was doing exactly what it set out to do. The writing worked really well for everything, as I said, and it's an eat the rich book, does what it's set out to do, and so in that way I'm like, maybe it should be a bit higher, like a 3.5. It's just, for me, I was ambivalent towards it. Like, it was absolutely fine. It was entertaining enough that I didn't want to DNF, but also that's it. Like, I've had my time with it. It's like popcorn, you know. I enjoyed it. It didn't fill me in any way, but I enjoyed it while I was having it. I'm not sure. Kind of stuck between the two. I might just settle on like a 3.25. Like, it was fine. A little bit disappointing because I did want that 5-star read, but I think when I think about it, it does make sense for the story that we're getting, that it wouldn't be as lyrical and stuff. It has made me question whether I want to read the last one, well, the most recent one that they did, which was House of Idol, just because, I mean, I was on the fence about that one anyway, because it's about musicians, and I don't know what it is with me and books about musicians, but I am just not that interested in them. I don't know, I might give that one a miss. You'll have to let me know, for anyone that's read the books and you've read House of Idol and you've read this one, which one did you prefer? Maybe that will help me decide whether I'm going to pick it up or not. As it is, like, I did read last year, I read a book that was about musicians and stuff, and it was by an author that I really enjoyed, one of their books. So the book I really enjoyed was Make Me Famous. No. That was the book I didn't enjoy. The book I really enjoyed was My Husband by Maud Ventura, and then the book I tried after that was Make Me Famous, and I just wasn't as interested, and I think it was because it was like the musician pop star side of things, which I just don't care about. Maybe from my library, or if it comes up cheap on Kindle, something like that. Maybe that's how I'll read House of Idol. But so far, Bloom is my favourite. This is a book that if I need space on my like horror thriller shelving space, this is one that would be unhauled. Not that it takes up much space. I am pleased that I read it. It did work for a few of the bingo boards. So I've used it for the fashion one on the R Fantasy, and I've also used it for one-word title for the horror bingo. So initially I was going to use this for novella, but I have a few different horror novellas, and I don't actually have anything on my TBR that's a one-word title for a horror book. So decided to go with that one. So I'm really pleased. Like, it's got me 2 squares on the bingo. I'm pleased that I read it because of how much I enjoyed Bloom. It's just unfortunate that it's not been the 5-star that I hoped for. Today though, I am going to be reading Omniscience Reader Viewpoint and The Ice Palace, so fingers crossed I like both of these. I mean, it's not going to take long. This is manual, this takes probably 40 minutes to get through, and then Ice Palace, 120 pages. This is not going to take much reading time at all for me, so those should be done today, so then I'll be updating tomorrow. We'll see how it goes though. I could just decide that I'm not in a reading mood and decide not to, because I did read a lot yesterday with having read the whole of this book. I don't know, sometimes after I've done a heavy reading day, I like to have a day where I just maybe read like 50 pages but then don't read anything else. So it could be that I only read Omniscience Reader Viewpoint today. We'll see. I'm not going to force anything. I don't see the point in that based on feelings. I don't know. I definitely want to read this one though. Very, very excited about it. So I'm definitely going to read this. But that's it. I actually need to get a wiggle on and film another video, and I've also got work. So I'm going to leave you in peace. Bit of a shorter update today. I say that. it's not really, it's kind of like my average. Right, anyway, I've got filming to do. I actually need to film my December wrap up, which is coming out before this video. So a few of these books I won't talk about in the wrap up, and you're seeing them here for the first time, but I did read them in December. I'm waffling. I'm gonna waffle in another video. I'll see you tomorrow. Updated the very next day because it's been like 3 days now, but I have quite a few reading updates, so we're just gonna get straight into it. Starting off with the good news, I read Omniscience Reader Viewpoint, gave it a 3.75 stars. Not quite the 4-star that I was hoping for, but really close. This one, I think it can be a really entertaining manhwa to read. If I think about the order of things that I want to be reading things in, I think this one isn't like a super high priority. I definitely want to read the whole of Solo Leveling before I get into this one, but I do think this will be a good time. I enjoyed the setup of this, so we're just kind of seeing our main character realizing that yes, he's the only person that's read this book, which the book itself is called 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse, and he's the only one that's actually read the whole thing the whole way through. And as he finishes the very last chapter, the world ends, and we kind of, it's almost like Dungeon Crawler Call-esque, where the world ends and they get put into this series of games where these like alien beings are in charge of it all, and they can be sponsored and all these different things. Now, our main character is the only one that actually knows what's going on, and I like it. Okay, I think it's really good. Much prefer it to Dungeon Crawler Cole. That's a book that I DNF'd. I just couldn't get on with the writing, the humour in it. I just found offensive rather than funny. The character himself, Cole, I just, oh god, I did not like. And I know so many people say he gets so much better and the character growth is amazing. I'm sorry, I'm not going to stick with that many books to finally have a character that's a little bit redeemable. Like, no. This one I'm genuinely interested in though. I think it was really interesting. Actually, I will say the Dungeon Crawler Cole webtoon I actually preferred to the novel. So maybe it's just I don't like reading this type of story in a novel format. I think the webtoon was actually really well done. So it kind of gives me those similar type things except different. I don't know how to describe that, but I enjoyed this. This was good. I do want to continue on with the series. There are a few that I want to finish out first before I get to this, but I am really pleased that I read this one. So 3.75 stars. And now we're into the not so great news because I did DNF The Ice Palace. Oh my god, I just could not get on with this one. I read the first 5 chapters, which sounds like loads, but it's not because these chapters are super short. Oh no, I didn't. I read the first 4 chapters. I got up to chapter 5, page 26. I didn't give this one long, and yes, I could have finished it out. It's a really short book, but I do not like this writing style. I just, there's just something about it that I just could not connect to. I think because it's very much a writing style that's like, sis did this, sis said this, or said that. And it's like, I don't like that type of writing style. It's too like, I don't even know what to call it. It just didn't really work for me. Plus, I don't understand what the author's obsession is with foreheads, because why do we have the forehead mentioned so much? Like, one of the sentences in this that was like, what? Was her forehead was boldly erect. And I'm just like, what now? Like, it's just a weird phrasing, and it could just be the translation. It could just be that it comes across slightly different in another language, because things do get lost in translation quite a lot. But there were just things happen in this which I didn't feel quite comfortable with reading either. So like, sis goes to Un's house for the very first time. She's quite like excited, nervous about it. And when they're there, they decide to get naked and they just stare at each other and then put their clothes back on. And I'm like, what? That's really, that's weird. I can honestly say that's not something I ever did as a kid. So I don't, weird. And I was just like realizing that, you know, we've got an older gentleman that's writing about 2 young girls just getting naked in front of each other and then putting their clothes back on. Like, the whole interaction just seemed really weird. And I was like, no. So I just decided to DNF and cut my losses with that one, unfortunately. Then we have one that was actually a bit disappointing, because The Skeleton Key by Erin Kelly, I didn't realise, but I've actually read something by Erin Kelly before. I've read Watch Her Fall, which is a ballerina thriller that I quite like. This one, however, it started out really good. Like, I was very interested. The chapters are really short. The writing style's fine. I mean, I've read from this author before, so writing style was absolutely fine. It just got really, really repetitive. And so I got quite a decent way through. I'm up to part 2. Yeah, part 2, chapter 35, page 143. But things just started to get very repetitive. And I had a little bit of a flick through to see, like, okay, when do we start getting past this? And it just doesn't really, it just keeps repeating the same thing. And I think this book is a little bit too long. I think if it was shorter, I think it would have had more of an impact on me. We start out following Nell, and Nell gets attacked because her father wrote this child story, The Golden Bones, and it's based on a folklore song, or a folk song, I should say. And he did all of these drawings to it. They also, him and his wife ended up doing like this treasure hunt with it as well. They made this like golden little skeleton that said basically, this is the skeleton from the book, scattered the pieces of the bones everywhere. And the book says, you know, once you've got all of these pieces together, Eleanor is going to come to life. It started off this cult with loads of people trying to find these pieces of the bone, except some people took it to extremes, thinking that Eleanor would actually come alive. Like, they're like, no, this is a blueprint, this is how we do this. But then they couldn't find this one last piece of the puzzle, and someone came up with the idea that it's actually inside Nell. Now, Nell's name is Eleanor. She likes to go by Nell because she doesn't like the fact that she's been named after this person from the story, and attacks her one day because she's trying to get hold of this bone that she thinks is inside Eleanor, which is crazy. Okay, it's absolutely crazy. Nell herself has dealt with so much, like she's had people stalking her and all sorts because of this book. She's now a grown woman, she's in her 40s, and they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of this book, and she's really concerned because one of the stalkers is actually outside, it's like outside the house, but nobody seems to really care. Like, her family just all kind of shrug it off and stuff. And we also do get past timelines of seeing Nell's parents, how they were when they first met. You also get moments where her father's got this best friend, and it just seems to be that whenever one of them does well, the other one does badly. So you start getting moments of time throughout history of those parts that have happened, and you know, you're slowly piecing everything together, and it's fine. It's just starting to get a little bit slow and drawn out, because it's like, well, what's actually happening here? And yeah, I don't know, it's fine, it's okay when you're reading it. I just found myself going, I put it down. I was finishing up another book for another project, and I was like, I actually don't even want to go back to this one. Like, it's fine while I'm reading it. I could finish it, probably give it a 3-star. I won't reread it. I would be unhauling this book. And then I was like to myself, do I want to read something that I'm going to unhaul? If I know I'm just going to unhaul it at the end of it, do I really want to continue reading this? Or do I want to carry on with loads of other things? Because, you know, I want to be starting my next vlog project. I've got the short form content that I've got going on in the background, which I'm having a lot of fun with. I think I would start to resent this book because I'm not loving it as much as the other things, and it's taken time away from those things, which is never what you want to be doing. And so I'm really pleased that I gave this one a try, because as I said, I was just going to unhaul this one without even reading it. I think this book would be so much stronger if it was just 100 pages shorter, if it had a little bit more pace to it. Then I think this could really work for me, because I love the idea of it. I love the idea that we've wrote this children's story, that it's brought so much fame, that it's also sparked this cult following, and then seeing the impact it's had on Nell. I do like the idea of all of that. It's just, honestly, just a little bit slow. Like, the first 50 pages I really enjoyed, and then after that things were like, okay, I'm like, okay, cool, we're seeing this, right, cool, what's going to happen here? And it's just a little bit slow, and I'm just like, I kind of want to know where we're going with this, and I don't really know where this is going to go. We've seen where the last bone was actually kept, so we're seeing that, and we're starting to see someone claiming to have contact with the person that attacked Nell. She's had no contact from the outside and stuff, but we've got someone claiming that they've got contact with her, that she was right all along, and all of these different things that are going on. So it does seem like there's going to be some build up, some sinister stuff. At the same time, when I've been flicking through, nothing's been like, ooh, that's grabbing me and stuff. I think it's just going to be a very slow story, and you know, the payoff could be really good, but I'm not in the mood for something this slow. So this might be one that I don't see. I'm thinking about it and I'm like, do I really want to unhaul it? Because I love the idea of this one. So it might be one that I hang on to for a little while and decide, do I want to cut? It could just be my mood right now. I'm not in the mood for this one. I want something a little bit more pacey, and I will come back to this one. Right now, I think I'm just going to have a soft DNF. I don't think I'll unhaul it just yet. I think I'm going to keep hold of it for a couple months, see how I feel about it. I mean, I tend to only actually unhaul my books and like get rid of them out of the flat once I've filmed an unhaul video, and I'm not planning to do that until I hit 100 books again, just because it makes life easier. Otherwise you end up having so much. Anyway, you don't need that tangent, but yeah, I've got about 70-ish books ready to go. So I think I'll wait a couple more months, let it build up to 100. I can do one big video, and then I can decide if I actually want to keep hold of this one. It could be one that I try dip in and out of as my mood takes me. I don't know. See, this is kind of how I felt about another book. So I mentioned earlier in this video about how I've read 4 historical fiction / literary fiction books recently, and 3 of them for Patreon. One of them I was in the middle of when I started this video, and I was liking, but then I had other things that needed to take priority, so I put that one down for a little bit, and I kind of don't want to go back to it, and then I feel really bad because 1, that's going to be a terrible exclusive video for them, and 2, it's like, I know I was liking it while I was reading it, but I'm just no longer interested to go back to it. So it could just be my mood at the time. Right now is I'm not in the mood for these books. So I think the one for Patreon and this one is just kind of feeling that effect. I mean, for me, The Ice Palace would have been a DNF regardless, because this I just wasn't enjoying. And then the other 2 books that I've DNF'd for this video, they still would have been DNFs because there were aspects of those books that I didn't like. Whereas The Skeleton Key, there isn't anything that I don't like about it. I think it's just a pacing / mood thing right now. But I know if I try and force myself through it right now, I'm not going to enjoy it, which is also how I'm feeling about the Patreon one, which sucks because I've got to get that video up and ready for them. And I think it's just going to be a case of that's not going to be an amazing video in terms of like book reviews, because it's not gone amazingly well. But yeah, it just kind of goes to show to me how much mood can really affect my reading, which honestly shouldn't be a surprise at this point. I've always told myself I'm not a mood reader, and no, I really think I am. Like, as much as I can have a set TBR, I do find, especially towards the end, like I get excited by it at first, and then I have been noticing that after like a couple of weeks of like my monthly TBR, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm over this, I want to jump to something else, because I've already spot picked all the ones that I was really excited to read. Not that I've read anything from my January TBR. Honestly, I've just kind of ignored it. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, anyway, that was massive tangent just to go, yeah, I'm just not feeling this one, but it does have things that I like. So I don't know. I think for now, it's gonna be a DNF. Whether I unhaul it or not, I'm going to give it a couple of months, and it's kind of how I'm feeling about the other book that I'm reading. Also, this lighting's going really weird. It is a beautiful sunny day, but it's also freezing cold outside, but it does mean that I'm using natural lighting. It's going in and out. Not that, again, I mean, half the time it's not too noticeable, but if I take out a cut, like I've got a bit of a cough, so I'm cutting out all the moments where I cough, when the lighting's going in and out and I've cut that bit out, that's when it's like really noticeable, so I do apologise for things like that. But right, what was I saying? Oh, right, yeah. So we're going to put this one down for now. Maybe I'll pick it back up eventually, but that does mean we're at the end of this video because it's been a few days. It is now the 3rd of January, I want to say. Yeah, it's the 3rd of January. I do technically have one more day, but I'm not going to risk the spinner wheel. I think I'm just going to get to starting the next vlog, especially because tomorrow I'm not going to be doing much reading anyway. Me and my partner are hopefully off to Brighton for the day, which will be really nice. Crazily cold, but we really want to go. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to go through all the books that I've read because honestly, we've got a lot off my shelves, which I'm very impressed with, especially because my partner's given me a challenge. No buying any novels until the 1st of May. And in the idea that it's going to reduce my TBR down quite a lot. So we've got it's like a 2-point challenge. It's a no buy challenge until the 1st of May, as well as a let's reduce my TBR by 50 books. I don't know if I can do it, but the 7 that I just took off my shelves has definitely helped. So let's run through this, shall we? We started off with a DNF with The Nesting by C.G. Cook. Again, I think this book is going to be absolutely fine. It's just a shame that it was so focused on the day-to-day looking after children, which I just I don't have any interest in. So unfortunately that didn't work, but I think, you know, you could see the slow creeping build up. I can see how some people would really like this one. Not quite for me. But then we went on to a great book, which I really enjoyed, and I'm so happy I got to read. A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. I can't wait for the second book. I enjoyed this one so much. The representation in this is really what sold it for me. Like, I love the character interactions and stuff. Like I said, I noticed like characters that reminded me of Throne of Glass characters, which I had amazing fun with. And just in general, I think this plotline, it stands really well on its own. I've read a couple Romantasy books, and I would say this may be my favourite out of the 3 that I've read. Again, a couple of those short form content and stuff, but I think this could be, which is great. So 4.25 stars. I'm honestly tempted to give it a 4.5 because it's really stuck with me, and that character growth is really well done. So I think I might boost this one up to a 4.5 actually, because I did have a lot of fun with this. I really enjoyed the plotting, the world building. Even though the world building was a little bit light, I still really enjoyed what we did see of it, and I really can't wait to see where this next book goes. And I do think it is one that I'm going to pick up physically. Like, initially I was like, oh no, it's fine, I'll just have book 1 and then book 2 I can get on my Kindle, but actually no, I really enjoyed it. I think I would like book 2 as a physical copy as well. We'll see closer to the time. It's not coming out till August time, so it's after my book buying ban, which is great. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, so 4.5 stars. That was great. Then unfortunately we moved on to another DNF. We did have a mixture of genres for this video though. That was really good. We've had what, 2 horror, or would the nesting count as thriller or horror? I don't know. We've had like 3 horror thrillers, a literary fiction, classic, a manhwa, and a romantasy. So I feel like we did a really good mixture of genres, which was great. But carrying on with the wrap up, Freshwater for Flowers by Valerie Perrin is unfortunately also a DNF. It was just too slice of life for me. Again, I need something to go with that. I need it to be a little bit dark and gothic, or a weird book, or some magical realism, something in there to give it a little bit of extra oomph, and then I probably would have preferred this one. So unfortunately another DNF. Then we had Guillotine, which was the 5-star prediction and just didn't quite hit, unfortunately. I do think that eventually I will be unhauling this one, maybe with that big unhaul video that I plan to do. We'll see. It's just one where I can say I much prefer Bloom. This one's not going to stay with me, but like I said, if you're looking for a book that reminds you of a film, maybe give this one a try. I think it works really well for that. And again, or if you're just after an eat the rich type horror book, then yes, that would also work for it. But then we had the 3.75 stars with the manhwa of Omniscience Reader Viewpoint, which I did enjoy, so I'm very happy with that. And then unfortunately we are landing on 2 DNFs with the Ice Palace. I just didn't like the writing style in this one, which is interesting to think that I had 2 DNFs just because of things I didn't like, but I thought the writing was actually fine. But this one to me was worse because I just didn't like the writing style. So this one would honestly get no higher than the 2-star. It'll be like a 1.75 in all honesty, which is why I'm just like, you know what, I DNF. I could honestly try and push through books where I'm not in the mood for them, or I don't like certain things about the book, but they would still get a low star rating because, as I said earlier, enjoyment is a big part. But for something where I'm not liking the writing style, I never force myself for it, because if you don't like it, you don't like it. And then we've got the Skeleton Key, which for now is a soft DNF, and I'm going to decide if I want to unhaul it. But yeah, so DNF'd 4 books, finished 3. I'm honestly still counting this as a massive win. We got 7 books off of my TBR. That is brilliant to me. I'm so happy with this, and I found one that I'm super excited about continuing. So all of this has been wins. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do let me know what you think of this video. Did I DNF some things that you think are amazing? I would love to know what you think. It is time for me to stop waffling on in this video. Okay, I've got quite a lot of filming to do today. I want to start my next reading vlog. I also want to film a book haul, so I want to get that done, and I've also got a reel to wrap up and then start another one. So yeah, I've got loads of opportunities to waffle on at you, so I will leave you in peace for this video. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate all of you, and for all of your support about me choosing to do less vlogs so that I can do longer challenge videos. Thank you so much for all of your support with that. But okay, if you've made it this far, then I think what we need to do, maybe we could do a flower. There's loads of flowers around the edge. There is a dancing girl. Yeah, put the dancing girl emoji or a flower, whatever you prefer, if you've made it this far and just have nothing to comment. And just, yeah, a massive thank you to all of you that do take the time to watch these videos, whether you comment and interact or not. Like, I truly appreciate all of it. An extra special thank you, of course, goes out to all of my Patreons for all of your support over there. It means so much to me, so thank you. But yes, okay, I am gonna go. So thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing and commenting. My social media links, anyone I've mentioned, Discord, Patreon, everything is always linked below for you. And I will of course catch you in the very next video.